Welcome to Verifying 2.0. If you've used the worksheets before, you're going to be somewhat familiar with at least the layout and the way things are read through. If this is new to you, just hang with me and I guarantee you'll have a better feel for what's going on here by the end. Each one of the files that's worked on in the office is going to need a worksheet, and the way that's done is the person taking the order, whether it be Jackie or someone else, is going to create a work file and then drop a worksheet in. If there isn't a worksheet, you can get one from the root directory of the received folder, which is the main received folder. So at the bottom of that, you'll find Verifying 2.0. Make a copy, drop it in whatever work file you want, and go. If you do mess something up, say you delete the file, you put it in the wrong folder, you put it in a folder and we can't find it anymore, don't worry, there's backups. Go ahead and mess something up, that's okay. I want you to know that ahead of time. Moving forward, we're going to look at the Verifying 2.0 worksheet. We're going to go over all the features that come along with this, and we're also going to address how to use it. This is going to be a quick overview video. We're going to get a little more specific about each tab and how things are done as we go forward. Right now I want you to look at the first page. This is the subject verifying information, and what we do here is we fill out any information we can from the order. You'll notice it's broken up in the sections a little bit. Next we go to Realist, where we can find the county, and if you do hit county, you'll see that the pop-up over to the right gives you all the information you need for that county. Now this is nice and it's dynamic and it adds to save a step as you go through your process, but this is just some of the features that you're going to see here. It is a good way to get your workflow down. Also on top you see all our MRED logins. Those can be changed, updated, and moved as we go along. Next tab over at the bottom, you can see the tabs. Next tab is the neighborhood tab. In here I want you to start paying attention to colors. Now on the first sheet everything was yellow on the right, everything was blue and red on the left. Well, yellow is auto-generated commentary. Maybe those color conventions weren't as good for the first tab, but this is commentary, this is verifying data. It's all things that get presented to you that you don't really need to look at, but maybe take a look at them. Red, we need to address it. We need to fill it out. And you'll notice as you go through and you fill things out, whether it be marked with an X or actually put a word into a cell, that it does change the color of the cell, and that'll tell you, hey, you hit the thing that we needed. Moving forward, and you'll see that there is a little bit of load time up here. You can follow the load bar that comes with each sheet, and that tells you if there's something going wrong or if you're just loading, because if the load bar is going, something's loading, and when you're working with as big of a sheet as this, you're going to see some load time. Next tab here at the bottom, we have the neighborhood section. In here you'll notice only 4 red. Now fill in those 4 red, follow through with the program, and you'll see that these all fill themselves in. The next tab, there's 9 red boxes. So we have our data source, we have what type of house we're talking about, and we need to tell them about where this supply and demand analysis came from, whether it be the subject's neighborhood boundaries, 1 mile radius of the subject property 5, or within any preset selection. Now when you write this section here, the supply and demand criteria, you need to follow these templates. So assume within is already written, and then the subject's neighborhood boundaries, within 1 mile of the subject property, within 5 miles of the subject property. So if something were to be 10 miles of the subject property, you don't write within, you say 10 No period, no punctuation, no worries. Just put that in there and move forward. As we go further along, you'll notice some more purple. Purple means that the population is going to be given to us. The cell's going to fill itself in. We just need to make sure we agree with it. Yellow regards commentary for the most part. You'll see on the comps grid there are little differences with the yellow, but yellow is pretty much sure, but go ahead and check it. Make sure it's okay. Purple, let's double check purple. Just because it's good information to know. If it's purple, you need to know it. You also need to double check it. If it's yellow, it's pretty certain about what's going on. Now, down here at the bottom on the left, you'll notice that we do have some options, and these are drop-down menus that will give you different commentary based on what you want to say. Next tab. Now again, I am going through at the bottom on tabs. We're in the inspecting appraiser. These can just be filled in with X's. Jen, Gary, Jay, whoever is the certified. Then we put in the appraisal trainee and move on to did the certified inspect, did the certified not, did the certified see the comps. Moving forward, we have a few more tabs. The inspection information. Now this information is specific to each home. I think the best workflow here is for an appraiser to finish a subject property, run in, run out, get in the van, and fill in the inspection information. We've had the processors doing this with voice notes, but now it's just going to be so easy and so fast. It's just almost senseless not to just fill it in. Then it'll save tons of time listening to voice notes, and you're already going to probably know all this information when you get to the van. Now, electrical service drop down. As we go through each one of these, they're drop downs. You notice the arrows on the right side, those are drop down arrows, and this will give you pretty much any option you could possibly want for these different situations. We also need to tell the effective life, total economic life left, and whether or not the utilities were on. Were they on? Were they off? Was water on? Was the electric on? Just mark with X's. Nextly, we're moving on to the comps grid. I click this tab here at the bottom. In the comps grid, you're going to notice that we do have room for 9 comps, so feel free to get crazy. Each one of these is a drop down. They're blank right now because we haven't put any data into the worksheet, so these are all going to be drop-down addresses that you're going to be able to quickly input all comp information with. Now, again, I know that I told you that yellow meant commentary, but in this situation, yellow just means we're pretty sure. Purple means go ahead and take a second look. Blue is just how we're making the headers and the side items, so no blue needs to be filled out. This is just telling you this is the view section following, this is room count, this is location. Don't worry about blue. As you verify prior sales, come down here to the bottom and you'll notice things fill in when you get your comps in, such as data sources, effective date, but you're going to need to tell it about prior sales. So date of the prior sale, price of the prior sale. Go ahead and put the deed type and document number in here too, and you'll notice down here we're going to get some commentary that just generates itself based on that information. Nextly, we have the 1004MC. This is based primarily on the 1004MC that you use every day in the appraisal report, but it is going to fill itself in based on the sales that you give it and have determined that are comparable. Finally, the E&O commentary. And here you're going to see that we can mark any variances that the E&O commentary analysis suggested that were just too far varying, such as, the site of comparable 1 is too big, age of comparable 2 and 3 is too much, compared to the size varies from the subject by this much, 10% line adjustment for comparable number 2, 15% net for comparable number 3, and value of number 2 exceeds the subject by XX amount. You'll notice on the bottom right it says 30. That's actually supposed to be XX, so we will not be seeing that anymore. But each one of these comments will fill itself in as things load. You'll notice they turn green, and these need to be in the appraisal report. So you can right click any of them, copy, put each one into the appraisal report wherever you think it needs to be. This is just kind of nice and a fast feature towards the end of the checking process, just to really show that we analyzed and went over every property and every problem they may have compared to the comparables. Nextly, at the bottom, again, we're moving through the tabs. You have import primary, import Form C, and these are going to be comma separated files that we're going to get from the MLS that will just fill in the information within the worksheet for us. And copy to appraisal report still hasn't loaded. That's kind of odd. We'll take a look at that in just 1 second. And then finally commentary. Now commentary is just going to give you some highlights you need to know. If it is an FHA appraisal, this will say FHA appraisal needed. Something over here, when we hit X in this square, you'll notice that this fills itself in. So you see FHA appraisal needed. Now, just because I'm really not sure about this copy to appraisal report section, I went ahead and opened another version of the worksheet, and you'll see, oh, it's purple now. Hey, get me some commentary. This is what Verifyin 2.0 looks like, copy to appraisal report. It was a little odd in that one we were looking at, but you can just close the worksheet and reopen it, and you'll notice that everything works again. It's just one of those things with using an internet-based worksheet site. But copy to appraisal report. If you look at this, it's pretty basic. Doesn't look like we're really putting anything in the appraisal report. That's okay. Everything's hidden on the sides here. But there's some instructions for you. Now, we want to use the top left rectangle button to select all, edit, then copy, then paste into the appraisal report. Hint, there's an arrow pointing at the button. So first I assume I want to use the top left rectangle button to select all. There it goes, selected everything. Next I want to hit edit, copy, and then once I've done that I can paste into the appraisal report. Not here, but you know, right click, paste, right click, paste. We can put it anywhere we want to. And this is everything we need. So if this sheet were to get deleted or messed up, we might have to do a little work, but nothing will get lost. This, though, is the sheet that we need to copy into the appraisal report. So keep that in mind, and then remember that we always want to check that all our commentary is in there. There are some special features about this sheet. I'll address them a little deeper, more in detail a little later. This looks like there's a lot of information in here, but pretty much from FHA up is all we're going to be addressing. Anything below that is going to be hidden for the most part from anybody that's viewing the worksheet. The BG stands for background, so if it starts with BG, you probably don't need it. If it starts with anything else, it could be some fun, nice features to have, such as a secondary supply and demand module, import secondary, which you're going to need just like down here at the bottom to import whatever you want to analyze. We have regression for our primary and regression for our Form C, and finally we have FHA commentary. FHA commentary is something that you're going to want to add. If it is an FHA report, we're going to leave the tab hidden in the meantime because it just adds bulk to the already pretty expansive process. But when somebody does do an FHA appraisal report, they can come through here and mark all the commentary they want with an X, and then in the right on the green sections you can add whatever you may want to say about that situation. So if you do need FHA commentary, it's in here. We'll go into how to get it more later, but this is just an overview, and I hope you got enough from this to be able to follow through and look at through how the sheets work. Sorry I droned on so much, and thanks a lot.